Bring the kids. Bring grandma and grandpa. Heck, bring everyone and come to the Misquamicut Spring Fest in Westerly May 9th, 10th, and 11th. Bring the kids. Bring grandma and grandpa. Heck, bring everyone and come to the Misquamicut Spring Fest in Westerly May 9th, 10th, and 11th at Misquamicut State Beach. You'll find an array of great food trucks, arts and craft vendors, games, rides, and a Ferris wheel with panoramic views. Great entertainment all weekend long with Jeff Pitchell and Texas Flood, John Batdorf, a tribute to the Cars, and Joyride, 80s Mixtape Live. It's the start of summer at Misquamicut Beach with Springfest. Misquamicut.org.
Hey everybody, welcome to Community Insights with Paulie G from Westerly.
Yes.
Paul, we had a comment on Monday during roll call that we should have a show that is Paulie G versus Paulie G. And it's you versus no, not a fight. You versus the police chief.
Oh,
although we were just talking about wrestling before we started. You versus Paulie G. And we would have like a trivia component, and we would ask trivia questions about the two of you, and we'd have to see which Paulie G it really was.
Yeah, okay.
And
the
I
real
said,
Paulie
that's
G,
great.
please stand up.
And I said, that's great, but I want Paula.
Paula G, yeah, but
Paula
she
Jancarelli
was a
in it as well.
Fazaro.
And you got to keep everything PG.
There you go. There you
And
go.
Are we really not having the screen on?
No.
Man, very vain. Like to
I
see
know you're
myself.
very vain, but our next guests aren't going to want the screen on because
Yes.
they're already.
Let me do that. Let me introduce our guest to Community Insights CI. Did you
do
get
the
it?
CI one more time.
I
I'm
love
canceling
it.
the show.
He hates it, but I love it.
Canceling the show.
We have a Glenn Nicholson, who I had the pleasure of, I think, meeting back in, I don't know, maybe 2016, 2017, or maybe even before that. But I know we met in the Pawcatuck Best Eaten.
We did.
And we didn't really resurface and I would venture to say collaborate until maybe 6 months ago or so.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, we both happen to be in the same industry, in coaching and speaking, and we share some mental health challenges, if you will, which I don't think really are much challenges any longer because of the material that we study in the self-discovery. So I'd like to welcome you to Community Insights. We don't have a lot of the staff that usually waits on you and does makeup and hair and stuff like that. But on the weekend shows, we do have that. So
I'll have to try a weekend sometime.
We might have to get you on a weekend show.
I was going to do the tux thing, but I didn't know if that was going to be a little much.
No, well, those that are Patriots fans will be happy.
Well, stop by to Sports Open Mic on Saturday morning because I just found out that we are not going to be. There's a on Saturday morning. There's a scheduled post that's going out on our social.
Yeah.
That says that we're going to be live at Springfest for Saturday morning. We're not. We're going to be live at Toscano's. Now, I could stop that post from going out, but I'm saying right now,
Trump
I'm not.
the Springfest.
First, well, Springfest doesn't open until 11:30, so.
Okay, so you can do both.
So that's primarily
10 o'clock, I thought on Saturday.
No, it's 11:30 on Saturday. Yeah.
Okay. Why would I question someone that knows?
I know.
You know what I mean? That's
I know.
I know. That's kind of crazy.
But you go down to Toscano's, get your suit, and you can get a
cool hat you can get a little sombrero.
Okay.
Yeah.
Glenn, what do you think of the hat?
Noted. You got it going on. I just watched Michael Jackson. I swear to God, like yesterday on, he was something. But it's all about the hat. So I can tell you, it's all about the hat. When he took that hat out of the suitcase, I mean, people freaked out.
Yeah, that was the 80s.
I can moonwalk.
I can too.
Yeah. We should get that on camera.
No, we're not going to.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to kind of cut to what we want to get to because there's a lot to share here with Glenn. There's a lot of different avenues, so to speak. But if we don't get to everything, Glenn, we will have you back on.
That'd be great. And I'll bring the tux.
Yeah, right. So, that will be a good thing, so to speak. But what I'd love for you to share with the audience right now is I know you're very familiar and a longtime resident of Westerly. But where are you from? What have you done? What are you doing now? And what's Glenn Nicholson all about? So to speak.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
Can we break it down to simple?
Yeah,
little
where you
parts?
from?
I like simple. Keep me focused here.
Get 'em
So
on plan.
I was born, as I was sharing, in West Palm Beach. I was a Miami Dolphins fan for a long time until I read It's Good to Be Gronk.
You told me that.
I work with adults with disabilities, and one of my clients wanted me to read the book to him. And when I read the book, I was like, you know what? I'm a Patriots fan now.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in.
Captivated.
And the Dolphins, of course, were struggling at the time, and the Patriots were doing pretty well. So I'm like, you know what? I don't need to see a psychiatrist every Monday to talk about how poorly the Dolphins played. I can be in celebration on Monday of how.
When
well
did you
the
move out
Patriots
of
played.
Miami?
Oh, I was a little kid. I don't remember. I have no memories of any of this.
So why were you a Dolphins fan then?
Because I was born in West Palm Beach.
But now, how do you feel that it's kind of flip flopped and the Patriots are
Yeah.
awful, and you guys got the coolest coach in the world?
Yeah, I don't follow. I used to follow so much sports, and now I'm really out of the loop.
You and I both.
I am out of the loop. My nights
On purpose.
Yeah,
On
my
purpose.
nights. I don't watch much TV. I don't watch the news. Again, social media is kind of where I get my information from, and for me. We'll probably talk about this a little later. We were talking about mental health challenges.
Mhm.
Being a highly sensitive person, the HSP, my brain is just like by 6 o'clock, I'm just winding down. I have no desire. And it's on my Sundays, I don't want to spend 3 hours of my time watching, or
Maybe
sometimes
more.
4 hours or more. I'm invested in other things.
But I appreciate what you just told me, and being the fact that we have a history, you and I, you have managed and coped well with, say, your adversities. So if you know certain things are going to be happening, you're not going to go at it. I'm just like someone that loves nachos, but they get indigestion, they do it anyway. You know what I mean? That's something that it's something that we can be proud of. So
right. Well, just for the record, we just came from lunch. I had the onion rings. He had one onion ring.
One.
It was dessert. It was his dessert.
It was delicious.
all
And I
good.
was coaxed by you to do it.
Yeah, I did.
All right. So where'd you grow up? I want to know where you
Hold
grew
on,
up.
grew up
before we get into that. Before we get into that, can I just say that sometimes for Community Insights, I go to a second camera angle with Paulie. You are the tallest guest that we've ever had. Hold on. I want you to look at this camera angle. Just look at the.
Oh my God!
Look at.
Yeah, that's his
Just look
Oakley's
at Paul.
right there.
Wow. Yeah.
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 So I can barely see.
You're like
him.
you're like. This is like the shot I saw of the moon. My head is the moon, and you are the Earth, and that's the angle. You can just see the Earth popping up, illuminated because of the sun, illuminating that Earth like there's no tomorrow.
That was a good observation, Ben. I appreciate you for bringing that up.
I was like, oh, let me go to that second shot. Nope, can't
well,
do
our
it.
time's up. That was fun, Paul.
Okay, so tell me, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Plainfield. Go Panthers. Had some amazing life experiences. I still am best friend with my friend Glenn Bethilia, who still lives in Plainfield of all things.
Exit 86, the old Exit 86.
Yeah, with
that
the only
was
thing
the
we were
Plainfield
known,
track.
Yeah, that's the only thing we were
The
known
dog
for.
track.
I did actually 2 jobs there. I was security, and I became an electrician, and I worked on the machines that stole all your money.
What, for the slots?
Yeah, no, there were no slots back then. This is back in 80.
What do you mean machines that stole your money?
When you go to issue a ticket, you go up to the teller and say, "This is what I want."
Right, at the dog track. Yes.
Well, that's what you were referring to.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Was a dog track. So I worked on those machines when they break down. I maintained them.
Wow,
It was
interesting.
a long time ago.
I loved going to the dog track.
Yeah,
And highlight.
We're talking like 89, I believe that was. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
All right, so
I was 2.
What's that?
I was 2.
You were 2.
I was 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you end up in Westerly?
Oof. I think it was just good karma.
24 years here.
It was
right?
a good karma. It was really bizarre because I remember as a kid going to Misquamicut.
Okay.
And little did I know I'd be one day moving pretty much down the road from there. I mean, what is the odds of that? It's almost like surreal and gives you goosebumps, you know? So I've been very blessed. Absolutely love the community here. I couldn't ask for a better place. And I tell people, you know, I've been here for 24 years and I hope I'm here for at least another 24 years to enjoy another 24 years, you know, because
Nice.
it's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. We have everything we really need right here. It's available.
I tend to agree, but I'm biased. But I wanted to ask you, because I'll put you on the spot a little bit here. You made reference to the fact that you love everything about this area. You love this community. Can you share with us in the audience what it is about this community that
It's
that you
simple.
love?
It's simple. The location, I mean, let's face it, in the summer, it's not so much fun because everyone wants to be here.
Right.
Everyone wants to be
Yeah.
here. Obviously, Taylor Swift thought it was a good idea to get a mansion in Watch Hill. She did her homework.
I think it was her dad.
Well, could have been her dad, but regardless, she's a smart cookie for doing that. She's brilliant. It's gorgeous here. How
Helped
could you
us.
say no to that? How could
Yeah.
you say no to that?
Put us on the map.
Yeah. So Taylor, you know, I'm saying good things. Tickets maybe one day. I hope. I did see her when Ed Sheeran was just starting out. Saw her at Fox with my ex-wife. It's like, hey, let's go to Foxborough and see Taylor Swift and
Foxwoods.
No, Fox.
Foxborough.
Borough.
All right,
Borough.
So
Foxwoods isn't big enough to see
Mansfield,
Taylor Swift.
with the Great Woods.
We're talking Patriots.
Oh, in the Gillette. Wow.
In
So
Gillette.
she had made it at that point then.
Yeah, Gillette.
Okay.
So, and then this guy named Ed Sheeran, who was just coming to the surface, just blew people out of the water. And look at him now. I
Yeah,
mean,
he opened up for her.
yeah, and it was just like insane. It was insane. But anyway,
You guys
all right,
know what
that's-
they did that weekend, right? That they were there.
They went down to
They got-
Mel's
they got-
Downtown Creamery.
And they got pizza downstairs here at Pizza Place. It was
Uh-huh.
actually so Ed Sheeran has a new single out called Old Phone. And so he created an Instagram with photos from his old phone to promote this song and this new album. And he did a big photo drop the other day, and one of them is him trying to eat the Big
Yes.
Kahuna
I
down
saw
in
that
downtown.
Did he
picture
do
in
it?
there.
And the other, no, he threw up. And the other one is a picture of Taylor
I saw
Swift
that one.
eating, holding up her third and fourth pieces of pizza
Oh, nice.
downstairs
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Pizza Place. So yeah, that went all over Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah,
like
that's awesome.
last
That's
week.
awesome. And again, there's a reason why people want to come here. You know, not just in
And
the
it's
summer.
not just the beaches.
Yeah, it's not just the summertime beaches. There's just we're upstairs on the third floor and you see the beautiful across the street, the beautiful Wilcox Library, and in back of there, the beautiful Wilcox Park. What's not to love? And what was interesting about that was many years ago, I said, you know, this park reminds me of Central Park. Come to realize after the fact, the guy who
The
put
architect?
the architect, the very same person is the person who put
Design
together.
Central Park.
Yeah, so I was like, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
there
no,
you go.
It's
So
great.
anyway, to finish, I mean, our location's
Oh,
beautiful.
we're not finished.
Well, I'm just to finish the topic, the subject of. I think when you visit here, it's kind of like my sister's about to go to Sedona, and you know they talk about Sedona, Arizona, and they talk about the vortexes and there's an energy shift. And I've been there too. It's pretty cool. We got our own little vortex thing going on here. So if you don't know what that's about, come visit. You'll figure it out.
For sure. So, Glenn, tell us what you do. Share with us. Enlighten us.
I breathe. I breathe.
They're not going to
No.
buy that.
Well, breath is a big thing that I think we all need a takeaway. We hear a lot. One of the things I'm going to show, in the camera. This is Mindful Illumination. Spent 4 years writing Mindful Illumination. Subtitle: Exploring Stillness, Mindfulness, and Kundalini Awakening. So a big part of this book, the reason why I think the main drive where we came was to talk about this month. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I've had my own struggles. I've been depressed twice where I was hospitalized. Then thereafter, I suffer from GAD, which is generalized anxiety disorder. And so I've been through the gamut,
Yeah.
and I learned a lot of things along the way, and you know it's challenging. You hear a little bit here, and you end up compiling your own little library of possible strategies,
Yeah, sure.
things to
That
do,
makes sense.
and you try some out and see what works for you, what doesn't work for you. But anyway, because I live in Westerly, I'm able to, like, when I go to the park. Unfortunately, my dog had to put him down 2 Januaries ago. We would visit the park every day, sometimes twice a day.
Yeah.
So now I visit the park this past year and a half without my dog. So it hurts a little, I'm not gonna lie, but it's such a beautiful park. So one of the things I talk about, stillness. I practice stillness every time I'm in the park. I'm just taking it all in, how gorgeous this beauty is, and mindfulness, being here in the present moment and taking a breath.
Yeah.
Nice cleansing breath through the belly,
Right.
and just being like, and being connected with whatever that is to you, something bigger than you. And
That's so easy to do, but we often don't do that. You know what I mean? You
Exactly.
just, passed over it like, yeah.
Life is busy, man.
Yeah,
Life is busy.
I
Listen, I don't have time to breathe.
Right,
I
seriously.
just don't have time.
Yeah.
I put it on my schedule, but there's no room.
It's
So maybe
right.
tomorrow I'll breathe.
No, that's a great point. You know what I mean? Is staying in the present, staying in the moment, and just really
Slowing down.
gratitude too.
Slowing down. You got to be connected. So that's what I do. I spend a lot of time being sensitive. I take a lot of information in, and my brain is always taking in information. I can't shut it down. So I need to practice many of the things I talk about in
Sure.
the book in Mindful Illumination. I practice them. It's not like I'm just
Preaching it.
yeah, I'm not preaching it, and this is stuff that I do on a regular basis.
Okay.
As well as there's other things in the book that I don't do, like sound therapy or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll give you the takeaway.
Okay.
I encourage you to explore different things. If you find yourself, you're in a funk, you're tired all the time, you're unmotivated, you feel like you have no reason to wake up in the morning, you just feel a void, whatever that is to you, work on that.
Okay.
Work on that and find things that work for you. It could be going to the gym. You're avid. You go to the gym every day?
Every day. That helps though. That
Every
really
day.
does. Not only physically, but
7
mentally.
days a week.
No, just 6 days for now.
What's
And
going
then,
on? What happened that 7th day?
Seventh day, you rest.
Oh,
That's what you do.
wow.
So can you share with our audience, when it comes to the month of May, Mental Awareness Month, what are some things on your bucket list, whether it be this month or 12 months from now, in the month of May for mental health awareness? What are some things that you'd love to do, to help champion this cause, if you will?
Yeah. Well, the number one thing for me, I don't want to say number one, but it's up there.
Yeah.
A priority to me is the support that you have. And I've told you this before. You've come over my condo. We've
Mhm.
talked. I'm in a moment of, just frustration and just feeling down and frustrated and lost and confused. And just being able to communicate. It's not that you offered any just amazing advice.
Right.
You were there for me. And that's what truly mattered to me, that you were like, hey, Glenn, I'll hang out.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't need advice. You just need to be heard. And you need, as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, you got to feel it to heal it. So if I suppress this stuff, it's going to turn into something disease.
Right.
Dis-ease.
Right.
Yeah.
DIS.
Yeah.
Listen.
So anyway, there is no rocket science. Again, I'm going to do one right now. Okay, there it is. A breath. It's magic.
That's an exhale.
That was an inhale there too, my
Oh,
friend.
was there?
Yeah,
I missed it.
Yeah.
You're quick.
it's all good. But so there's just these little things, being mindful and taking a breath and slowing down.
No, so
and
true.
being mindful. Like, when I do dishes, I'm in a position of mindfulness. I'm feeling the water. I'm hearing the water. I'm noticing how much water, how much soap. I'm cleaning off the dishes. I'm putting them away. I'm in the moment. In the moment. So real quick, the bottom line is be in the moment more. Be in the moment more.
Okay.
Life
Be
is
more
busy.
aware, you're saying?
Life is busy. Sometimes, you wake up and the next thing you know, you're going to bed and you ask yourself, what happened between when I just got up? Where was I? It was so busy. My mind was so busy. And you could have had a day off. You could have had the whole day off.
Yeah.
And you feel like, oh my God, I feel like I didn't accomplish anything. I wasn't mindful. When you one of my all-time favorite quotes, and there's like this book, Mindful Illumination, is pelted with amazing quotes. One of my favorite quotes is Eckhart Tolle: awareness is the greatest agent for change.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to really obtain good awareness means you need to be aware, and to be aware means you have to be mindful. And if you're not those, then you don't know what really problems, issues really are. If you're not in it, you're overlooking, you're overseeing, you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention.
So, Glenn, how can you? Because as I absorb this, and it's not for the first time, naturally, from you specifically, but our audience hears what you're saying, and they're like, "Yeah, I know that." You know what I mean? It's almost so basic that how can it be therapeutic? How do you counter that when they say, "Well, geez, what is it about breathing and staying in the present?" What do you ask them to do from a procedure standpoint?
The thing is you got to be head on. It's someone would say, "Dude, I breathe every day." It's like, okay, but when you breathe, are you really breathing? Or are you
like conscious of it? You mean?
Are you consciously breathing? Are you feeling that inhale? Are you feeling your chest rise and fall? Are you experiencing peace and calm when you exhale? Because if you're not really truly
what
breathing.
does that do?
Oh, it changes your whole parasympathetic nervous system, and you feel it instantly. Okay. All right, right now, we all three of us right here, and people at home, wherever you're listening.
What about the office?
The office, wherever.
Okay. They're recreating.
Right now.
What about if they're driving?
I do it all the time.
This isn't dangerous in the car?
When people cut me off, sometimes there might be a little profanity there, but I have to calm myself down because if I'm all wound up, look at road rage. How many people who suffer from road rage really need a breath?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I literally.
Right, what are we going to do here?
So, real quick, I literally, when I'm driving at times, I find myself, okay, Glenn, you feel a little stress. I'm doing a little body scan.
Yep.
It's like, I need to take a nice cleansing breath here. And I do it all the time, every day. Every day I will have that little check.
Maybe multiple times throughout the day?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No question. And,
okay.
And here's the other thing, Paul, is that this gets me, and I'm a culprit of this all the time. So often we know better.
Yeah.
We just don't do better.
Yeah. I studied that this week. Yeah. Praxis. Yeah. Aligning our belief with our behavior. We know we should be doing these things, but why aren't we doing them?
It's hard. It is a matter of discipline, and it's a matter of awareness.
Right.
And it's a matter of how bad you want it. If you want to start feeling better, you're going to have to put some work into it. And you might be uncomfortable.
No, right.
You might
Absolutely.
be uncomfortable. You might be uncomfortable for a while. And I love the expression, you got to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's powerful. I've had my moments where I'm uncomfortable. I'm like, and I feel that stress. I'm like, dude, I'm not very comfortable right now. And then I just be like, okay, well, can you be okay with being uncomfortable?
Yeah, that's hard, actually.
Yeah.
Very hard. Are you going to walk through an exercise with us?
Okay.
We were going to do something.
We're all three of us. We're going to take a deep breath.
Okay, listen. I want everyone, if you can, sit up straight.
Sit up straight. Up straight.
Sit up straight. Your spine is straight.
Well, curved.
Well, curved, but you know what I'm saying.
Posture. Correct posture.
Okay, so this is going to feel really good. So you're going to inhale. Inhale and bring the breath to your belly. Feel your diaphragm expand. Bring it in. And then gently let it out. And just let it out. Flow right out. We'll do it one more time. Take a breath in. And exhale it. Just let it right out. And there can be something very magical, instantaneous, where you feel a shift in your body, physically, in your mental state. It's powerful and it's there. It's there for you. You can do this pretty much anytime, any place.
I'm going to levitate, I think.
Yeah, that's the next thing we're going to do. We're going to get it on film.
That was good. I do take one of these deep breaths every day because it's a form of prayer. I have to force myself to go through what you just did with us to help me not so much unwind, but just to get our presence of where we are. And it helps physiologically. Whatever.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So it does help for our nervous system, our emotions and everything.
How do you know? Because you feel it.
Okay.
When you do it right, you're going to feel it. It doesn't lie to you. And it's not hard. It's just practice.
Good golf
do
shot.
better. Do better. Do better.
Yeah. My wife tends to say that to me.
Listen, especially if you're having a difficulty, let's just say you're with a loved one and it's starting to turn into an argument and you can feel it. Like you feel that coming on. That is when you should have that anchor of your breath come in. A little voice in your head says, listen, take a breath and honor that and do it.
Okay.
And then think about your being. When you take a breath, it changes your being, your state. So now I go from trying to fight back to now my parasympathetic nervous system, say that 3 times fast, now calms the body. And now I'm ready to be in a more loving state and be able to deal with whatever the matter is in front of me, especially if it's a loved one. Instead of getting in an argument and being defensive, you can be more kind and more loving. So
right.
Just take a breath, will you? Take a breath.
Right. And that can be with a spouse. It could be with a child,
anyone,
coworker,
friend,
Paulie G.
Yeah.
You know, you might have to take 2 or 3 with me.
It's all good.
Or 7 or 9.
We got plenty of time.
This is great. Okay. So what are some things that you want the audience to know about Glenn Nicholson and how you perhaps could help them, which you've already explained on some of them?
Well, I spent 4 years putting Mindful Illumination together, and it's almost like a pamphlet. It doesn't feel like an intimidating book, right? It's not that thick. No. It's like 137 pages.
It's an easy read, you know what I mean? And
it's an easy read, but the topics in there, like the breath, some people or meditation. You'll have some people that come to me and say, "Listen, I have ADD, ADHD. I can't meditate." Yeah. You hear different things out in the world, on the street, on YouTube or social media. But the whole thing is the word explore, which is the first word in my subtitle, explore. I encourage you to try to explore healthier options. Like, listen, let's just say you're stressed out. You had a tough day at work.
Yeah.
Imagine this. You say, you know what? I'm going to spend 1/2 hour. I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to take off my socks. I'm going to go at 7 o'clock. There'll be hardly anyone on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to walk in the water. I'm going to get grounded. I'm going to feel the water. It'll be like therapy.
Okay.
I'm going to stop. I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to look at the ocean. I'm going to take it all in. I'm going to have mindfulness.
I'm with you to that point.
Yeah. And enjoy it and take it in. And then walk away with that shift. So now you're no longer Paul, the stressed out dude. Yeah, you're Paul, I'm open to new things. I'm open to having healthy, bonding, loving relationships, conversations with people. I'm available. You're not available when you're all stressed out. You're not available.
No, right, absolutely. Not even to ourselves. Yeah. But the problem I have is I'm with you. I'm in the water. I'm letting it bring me peace. But I would then need someone to carry myself as well as my socks and shoes back to the car because I can't get sand on my feet and go into the car.
Explore. You say you can't. You just.
I don't want it.
Yeah, well,
that's a problem.
Again, explore. Find what works for you.
I was a lifeguard. I hated sand.
Okay. Well, you find there's different ways to become grounded. They're in the book. I encourage you to reread the book. There's many ways to become grounded. There's many ways. So if it's not working for you, I'm not going to preach to you, say, Paul, that's what I do. It's the best thing in the world.
And I love that you said this, because there's more than one resource in the book. So if this doesn't work necessarily, try this or this or this.
Go take a walk in the park. Walk in the park. Go check out. Go sit at
He
a
also
bench.
hits dirt.
The other
and
day
grass.
I was with my client.
What's that?
I said he also hits dirt and grass.
Yeah. The other day I'm at the bench, and me and my client, we're just chilling at the pond. He's checking out the koi. The next thing you know, you see an osprey flying around, circling. We're like, oh, I bet he's looking for a meal. I didn't want to see that end of it, but he just circled around a couple times and then he left. But those are cherished moments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't just look and say, oh, there's some bird flying around.
Yeah.
That's not my experience.
Not anymore, anyway.
No, and my thing is, imagine you're the osprey. Imagine what the osprey's seeing.
They got great sights.
Can you imagine what that must be like to be an osprey flying around? And he's looking at us. I wonder what he sees.
Great vision.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So explore. That's the main word.
I love it. I think that's good. I think what I have to get my arms around and help the audience understand is that it's so basic and so simple, but yet you should do it. You should try it. You know, what's simple to do is simple not to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and read the book Mindful Illumination. And like you said to me, reread the book. Don't just go through it to go through it. You know what I mean? Find points in it, right?
Here's the thing. The reality. This is my reality. This book was to help a lot of people. I want to serve as many people as I can.
Mm-hmm.
We are, as Dr. Gabor Mate, a leading physician therapist who's all over the place, touring the world, giving conferences, lectures, talks about how to deal with trauma. We all have trauma from childhood on. It's just a part of being a human being, spiritual being. The question is, how are you healing your wounds? Right. We're all wounded. How are you healing your wounds? This is a good part. A good part of it is right here. If you practice some of these,
it's not just a Band-Aid. It's
treating
the cause.
Absolutely. So what I want to say was, what's interesting is my intention is 4 years of research and grinding it out with a lot of support. And there's some great coaches in here that I met in Arizona in January at a big coaching conference. It's like 250 coaches from around the world in Arizona, in Scottsdale. It was called the Ultimate Coach Experience for 3 days. It was just amazing. Some of the coaches are in here for resources. And obviously, you're a local coach, Paul. So, you know, people need to reach out to you. They need support. You're the guy. So, you know, give Paul a call and I'm sure he can help you on your journey. But here's the thing I want to point out. This book is beautiful. You know why? Because I have to go back to it too.
Right.
When I was in my funk a couple of weeks ago and you came to visit me, I was like, okay, I gotta go back to the very things I wrote about. Exactly. I gotta practice these things to get myself back on course.
So true.
You know,
so true. Glenn, I truly appreciate you coming on. There's lots to talk about for our maybe our next episode in a couple months. If you'd be,
I'll get the talks ready.
Right, you can go to my father at Toscano. So
there we go.
We'll take care of you, Ben. Take us home here.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Brandon Dugas, by the way, said 5 a.m. YMCA crew.
Yes, I love Brandon. Good people.
Love that. Brandon actually was the one that suggested the trivia show between you and the other Pauly G.
So, I remember I heard this before. It was Brandon. Yes.
Yeah. So want to thank everybody for watching. Want to thank our sponsors. And we will see you next time on
Sounds good.
Community Insights.
Wonderful. Is it CI? The CI.